Danganronpa.
Hello everybody, we're back for some more Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. So, we were on chapter 5. We are about to go to the murder trial. Let's get started, no time to waste, right? I'm very curious to know what's up with this. So yeah, this is the class trial for the murder, and spoilers if you haven't seen it already, but it's for the murder of Nagito Komaeda, which is surprising. I thought he wasn't gonna get killed the whole story, but he did. It's kind of surprising to me. Time to go to Monokuma Rock. Wait, isn't it through the park? Oh, I guess not. It's actually just, you just walk around all the way, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna try to solve the mystery of Nagito Komaeda's death, which is very interesting so far. Because apparently in the crime scene there was poisonous gases, and Nagito, he had poison with him on his cottage. So that's a bit curious, isn't it? Why would there be poisonous gases on the crime scene when Komaeda was the one who had the poison? Not entirely sure. Oh, we need to clean some of the poop for our pet. Miss Shitty Me? It's me in real life. So yeah, let's go to Monokuma Rock. Everybody should be here waiting. And by everybody, I mean like the 5 other people.
Damn right.
Looks like everyone's here.
Huh?
Oh, is this it? Shouldn't there be more people?
Damn it.
Stop it! You're making me depressed.
Stupid fool!
You're making me depressed! So it's going to happen again. The cruel conflict where we must doubt our friends. But once we're through with this, we can't go back, right?
That's right.
That Monokuma Basa said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial.
Damn it.
But we've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so easily.
Of course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us all do... Okay, let's try this again. The guy who's making us all do this in the first place is the one saying it, you know? That's not exactly it, but there we go. Still warming up. That's why I'll definitely survive. If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial, I'll definitely find out who the killer is no matter what, even if I have to pull out all the stops. What the fuck? Why are you here? You haven't realized yet? The feeling of wanting to leave this island, thinking like that is Monokuma's trap, you know? What are you saying? There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse. Stop trying to jinx us.
I'll pick you up.
Stupid rabbits, you just shut up. Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair. I have finally realized, after losing my powers, that cursing your powerlessness or your fate accomplishes nothing. The possibility may be small, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. Okay, Nagito. So I'll fight!
Huh?
What's the deal? I do not really know, but she seems different from before. Maybe she read a self-help book.
Wait.
But her eyes, she looks so determined.
You.
What can you tell just by looking at those button eyes? Anyways, make sure you turn off Minimaru. It would be annoying if he started talking during the trial. Fine.
But still.
Somehow, I understand what Monomi is saying, I think. Anyway, let's get going to the last class trial. You're right, we need to fight as much as we can, no matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end. Think if you stream until the usual ending time, you might actually finish the game this stream. Oh, we'll see. This is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock. At this point, we're pretty good with class trials, so it might not take too long.
Yeah.
This elevator ride, this is really the last time for this too, right? I hope so.
Well,
Let's worry about things after we're finished.
you are right.
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us. We're actually like so few people, holy shit. The killer managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is going to go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones who have survived need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then the door slowly opened, the bright light reaching us. Is that the light of hope or the light of despair? Such philosophy.
Well now.
Well then, now that the chatterbox Nagito is gone, there are only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell up.
Enough! Just fucking start this already.
Hey.
Hey, this is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it sure is. So, you got to show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
All right.
Ah, didn't I tell you? He said it. This is the end.
Now then.
Now then, let's get this class trial started. This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other. This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Oops, spoilers! Spoiler alert! Nagito Komaeda, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across very sociable. But his true nature held such a demented thought process was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would even help despair just to prove that hope will never lose to despair. And he said he would become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up, but there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it, but there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out the person who finished off Nagito, the killer who murdered Nagito. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And if Monokuma says this is really the last class trial, that's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, this life-threatening trial billowing with hope and despair, the last one, has begun. Ooh, save the game. So, I'm not present. What am I doing? Report card. I wasn't actually able to max out Sonia. Maybe I'll be able on chapter 6, but at that point it doesn't really matter that much, does it? Let me see how many hope crystals we have. We have 2, so we can't really get a lot. Can get moon salt. Increases jumping power. It's probably pretty useless. Upshift increases aiming speed. Reduces aiming speed. I'll probably get increased aiming speed, to be honest. This is my favorite trial in the series, not tied with a certain one on the 3rd game. Interesting. I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm very, very curious. That's definitely one of the most interesting murders so far. So we go to set skills. Yeah, we have everything that was equipped. This is infinite unlimited flame. I guess we can't have that. Let's equip upshift. And that should be it. Finish preparations. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
And who the fuck could pull that kind of murder off? Well, right now, my suspects...
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened. And that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
My main suspects right now are Sonia, of course, because she wasn't with us, and Nagito himself. And I'm not sure how much sense it makes for Nagito to have killed himself, especially in such a weird way, since he's got like so many wounds on his legs and arms and whatnot. But I don't know, I guess we'll find out.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Chesto!
Why are you even talking about Monokuma?
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake.
The traitor, huh? We haven't even figured out who that is.
Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger.
Monokuma's power. That's domestic violence.
Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Domestic violence is a crime in Brazil. So Monokuma, you're going to jail, I'm sorry.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito. Is he... right? Are they the same person? Or... I guess we're gonna start. Let's see what we have. Torture wound, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushies, oil light, Monokuma's account. Well, let's check back on the stuff we have. Monokuma file, torture wounds. Both Nagito's legs were tied with rope, and each rope was tied to nearby pillars which prevented him from moving. His thighs were also covered with a lot of stab wounds. Burnt rope. The rope that was tied to Nagito's right arm burnt off. However, Nagito's sleeve still looked clean. Survival knife. A survival knife that was stabbed into Nagito's right hand. The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume the wounds on Nagito's leg and left arm were caused by this knife. Blood on the left hand. Blood was splattered on the palm of Nagito's left hand. For some reason, the splatter cut off in the middle of his palm. Also, the back of his hand has an unnatural blood stain that's only above the middle joint of his fingers. Duct tape. Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape. However, the blood was splattered onto his face wasn't under the duct tape. The tape itself has a lot of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. Okay. Oil lighter. Found at the fire's origin point. Looks like this is what caused the fire. Monokuma's account. Monokuma knew all along that the bombs were fake. However, he apparently never revealed that fact to anyone. Okay, so what do we have here again? Oil light, Monokuma's account, torture wounds.
I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
Yeah.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
That's true.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Duct tape.
So, the
Monokuma plushie. Actually, let me check. Monokuma plushie. A life-size Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor near the fire's origin point. It has a huge bloody hole on its stomach as if it was stabbed. Interesting.
Is whoever found the bomb first.
Monokuma panels. A lot of tipped-over Monokuma panels were scattered around the goods warehouse. In one area, the panels seemed to be laying on top of each other in a straight, orderly line. It's probably not related to any bombs.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no
Oil
way I'd
lighter.
torture someone.
Monokuma's accounts. Torture wounds. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason
knife.
Nagito's body was
duct
covered with
tape.
wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up.
Oil lighter.
What were they trying to find out by torturing
Monokuma's
him?
account.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Let me check Monokuma's account again. Monokuma knew that the bombs were fake, but he never revealed the fact to anyone. But Sonia knew the bombs were fake. Can't his cuteness bail him out? Not sure that's how it works, but...
If so, the suspect.
Is whoever found the bomb first.
So whoever found the bomb
That was
first.
Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Survival knife, duct tape. This is difficult.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
Oil
It's because
lighter.
the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up.
Torture wounds.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Survival knife.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Let me check survival knife again. A survival knife is stabbed in Nagito's right hand. The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume the wounds were caused by this knife. So this might be the bullet we need. The survival knife.
If so, the suspect.
Is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
So maybe we tried this? No. Because the knife comes from the military base. So I was thinking maybe we will agree with him that it
Killer
wasn't
didn't
him.
tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up.
Because he didn't
I'm
go to
telling
the
you, they
military
were
base.
torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body
not
was
sure
covered
about
with
that.
wounds.
Duct
It's
tape,
because the
Monokuma
killer tortured
plushie.
Nagito.
Tortured
So
Nagito.
that's why he was so beat up.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
The bomb's hiding place.
If so, the suspect.
Is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Monokuma plushies, Monokuma panels. I don't see it. Why did the killer torture Nagito? Were the wounds really caused by torture in the first place? God.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
The bomb's hiding place. I don't think that's
If
it.
so, the suspect.
Is whoever found the bomb first.
Ever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
That's probably what we want to disagree,
I found it
right?
by
With.
coincidence.
So whoever found the bombs
There's
first.
no way I'd torture someone.
What would we disagree that with? As a question. Survival
Killer
knife,
didn't take
duct
Nagito's
tape,
mouth to
monokuma
shut him up.
plushie,
I'm
monokuma
telling you,
panels,
they were torturing him.
oil lighter,
The reason
monokuma's
Nagito's
account,
body was covered with wounds.
torture wounds, survival knife. I'll
Because the
try
killer-
to
So that's why.
contradict
What were they trying
that
to
with
find out?
survival
Definitely the
knife.
bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
No. It's not a contradiction. Mm.
Damn it! The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
Survival knife.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up.
Duct tape.
What would...
Let me check duct tape again. Nagito's mouth was covered. The blood that splattered onto his face wasn't under the duct tape. The tape itself had a lot of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. That wouldn't contradict torture. Survival knife. That only proves the torture. Monokuma's account. Oil lighter. Monokuma panels. Monokuma plushie. Life-size Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor near the fire's origin point. There's a huge bloody hole in his stomach as if he was stabbed.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
The bomb's
So,
hiding
the
place.
suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
Maybe I will agree with the bomb's hiding place in Monokuma's account. Maybe that's what I need to do here. Let's try that.
The reason Nagito's body...
It's because the killer tortured.
So that's why he was... What were they trying to find out by torture? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Let's try this. Oh! No. Whoever tortured Nagito did not know the bomb was fake. And then that means I'm not a suspect. No. Oh my god. Hello, Cheshire. We just started the class trial. This is the first argument. And I simply have no idea what to do. I'm actually like completely lost. Torture wounds.
I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
The bullet you want is duct
So
tape.
that's why he was
What?
so beat up.
That doesn't make sense though.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. It does make sense. Because if he had duct tape on his mouth before he started being tortured, he wouldn't been able to talk. Right?
Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
So they
So,
weren't
the
trying to
suspect
find anything
is
out.
whoever found the bomb first.
Maybe this? No, not it. Maybe the...
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, we actually got a contradiction there. Well, that's a bit weird. It doesn't make much sense to me, but
But
sure.
Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Yeah, but we're contradicting him being tortured, not him confessing anything, so this doesn't make much sense to me, but
If he
sure.
was being tortured for information.
Yeah, they
wouldn't
would have taped his
like
mouth.
that.
I'm prepared.
Alright, at least we're through that, I guess.
Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid. Reboot of Showdown, I hate these. Torture wounds, burnt ropes, survival knife, Monokuma plushie, oil lighter, the spear of Gundine. Continue,
Like you
whatever
said,
the name is.
Nagito's mouth was taped shut. You obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down.
There we go, success.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information. Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
We're probably gonna contradict
Nagito's mouth
the...
was taped shut. You obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut,
We're probably gonna contradict. He's saying,
how is he supposed to answer anything?
yeah, it's just like,
Pay attention. This is how it... First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
the bomb's location, but he had duct tape on his mouth.
Crap!
Pay attention. This is... First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about... Then, after they killed him...
Retreat.
Damn it!
Then after they killed him. So what he's gonna say is that they put the duct tape there after they killed Nagito?
Like you said...
'Cause that's
Nagito's
wrong.
Mouth was... You obviously assume he couldn't... But that was the trap.
We know the duct tape
He
has
wanted
been in
to
his
hide the
mouth
fact that
from
he
the
got
start,
interrogated.
right?
But if you tape his mouth shut,
Because there was no blood
how is he supposed
on
to
the
answer
marks
anything?
of the duct tape.
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information. Then, after they killed him...
Allow me to
Oh,
cut
there we
through
go, we
those
got
words.
this. It was Odin. Maybe it's a
There's no
bit
doubt
curious
Nagito's
for
mouth was
sure.
covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? You might as well settle this
Duct
with
tape
rock,
against
paper,
this one kind of
scissors.
sucks. This one was easier. It was a bit easier because this actually makes sense. He says that the duct tape was put there after the murder, but we know for a fact, just from reading the information that we have, that the duct tape was there before, since there was no blood. It was very wrinkled.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the
So this
torture
one
even
makes
began.
sense. The previous one didn't make much sense because we contradicted. He was tortured with duct tape? That doesn't make... That's not a contradiction, but...
Why do you always side with
I don't know.
Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
It would have had... Like, the first contradiction must have been... No, that's not the word I want. The first contradiction we made was that he was murdered because the killer wanted information, but the duct tape wouldn't allow Nagito to give any information. That's a contradiction, but what the game actually put in the contradiction was just he was tortured and duct tape. That's not a contradiction because he was tortured, just not tortured for information. So that was a bit weird. Anyways, are you in elementary school or
You were
something?
with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
I mean, he was still kind of tortured, though. I guess it depends on your definition of torture.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
That's still torture.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
Can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
Or maybe they put the lighter on the rope, and the rope acted as a timed trigger for the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire. They're right, we need to clear that up first. It's probably gonna be the burns rope, right? Torture wants burns rope right there. Monokuma panels, oil lighter. I'll go with burns rope to start with.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The oil lighter.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
Oil as an
They probably
improvised
just
fuse.
threw the lighter.
Through the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
Invisible threads. That might be
Should have been
it.
a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Sound waves,
Or
no.
perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Well, we do have the tipped over Monokuma panels. So maybe they tipped over the light. Okay, let's try the
The direct cause of the fire was
Monokuma panels. They might
the
have
oil
tipped over the
found at
lighter.
crime scene, right?
The killer used some. He lit the curtain on.
Some
Some
kind of
kind of setup?
setup.
Did they use the oil
Oil
as
as
an improvised fuse?
They
fuse.
probably just threw
Through
the
the
lighter.
lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is...
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No,
There should
no.
have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
No sound
Or
waves.
perhaps opening the door caused...
I got it. Opening the door tipped over the Monokuma panels, and those tipped over the lighter.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown